The Fourth Estate breaking news with our news anchors, Nicky and Solrac, reporting live.
Hello, good evening and good morning. Welcome back here at the Fourth Estate. My name is Solrac and my partner, syempre, my co-host, Sir Nicky Gokwan. How are you doing, sir?
Oh, good evening, everyone, and good morning, Manila and Solrac. I'm doing fine. How's the weather out there? I've heard there's a lot of crazy weather around us right now.
For some reason, we're in this winter, spring, summer, and fall kind of a situation here right now in Calgary. We don't know what kind of weather we're getting. There's been a few thunderstorms. There's a few hails. There's a few tornado watches. And today, once again, we're getting this really, really odd, and I call it crazy clouds that we get here in Calgary. And I'm sure you get the same thing there. How is your neck of the hoods?
Oh, yes, it's the same here. It's been crazy. Yesterday, there was a heavy downpour that I haven't seen for quite some time. And I was telling my good wife, and I said, are we in Manila?
It's hopefully.
And for the benefit of our viewers, we don't really get much rain out here. We do have spring weather. We do get occasional rains, but not heavy rains. That's like typhoon-like rains or heavy downpour. It was a severe downpour yesterday. And talking about that downpour, Solrac, I understand Rogers Place, which is and the premier events place here in Edmonton, got flooding on its 104th Street entrance.
Yeah, I saw that on the news, and again, it's quite alarming because supposedly, we can talk about it now. I guess that is going to be the hub for the NHL Western Games. So, but according to you here, I guess everything should be fine, and schedule will remain. So, and that's what I heard.
Yeah, that's fast approaching Solrac, right? So we're trying to return to a new normal, and this weather seems to be not cooperating. A few weeks back, or about a month ago, Calgary had a severe, I call it severe hailstorm.
Yes, and you're right about that.
We haven't seen that in how many years too, right? Solrac?
That's right. And yeah, and then there's so many things that's especially here in our province. There's so many watches has been going on. And speaking of that, I'm going to be talking about our new COVID-19 watches added in Alberta, including two in the last couple of days here in Calgary. A spike of COVID-19 cases means 7 regions in the province have now entered into a watch status, which is an increase of 3. Dr. Dina Hinshaw, Alberta's Chief Medical Officer of Health, announced during her daily update last night. These regions are all being monitored closely, and no additional measures are being taken at this time. The three new areas of concern are Calgary Center. There's 38 active cases, population of 66,198 cases per 100,000. And then Calgary Elbow, there are 22 active cases. Cardston Country, there's 11 active cases, population of 16,459 cases per 100,000. The new watches have joined those that have already been reported on the province's website, which includes a watch in Wheatland County that was briefly called off this week before being put back in place. So that's what's going on in my neck of the hoods here, Sir Nicky, for our COVID-19. Would you like to share yours?
Well, Canada-wide, it says 109,369, right? And Alberta has a total of 9,219, right? So 105 since July 16. That's quite.
That's only.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Yes, and out of that, there's 859 active cases, right? And 68 in the hospital right now. But looking at Edmonton zone, there's 1,334 confirmed cases, right? 213 active cases and 1,098 recovered cases. 28 are in the hospital for Edmonton. And you look at the central, south, north zone, and an unknown area, which I don't know, specifically when you say unknown, it's not really known where that came from, right? For whatever region it is it north, is it south? There's 24 confirmed cases.
Maybe those are the new what do you call that? Parang visitors or tourists, maybe.
Yes, it could be. The unknown is basically they couldn't identify where it was the person got infected, right? So that's why there's an unknown area. And so Carlos, all these infection rates have grown as we opened stage 2 of the relaunch of the economy. And recently, everyone was talking about people going out and going to the beaches, particularly Sylvan Lake, where people were crowding and not practicing the normal social distancing. How is that as far as your area is concerned?
Well, I think we're both in the middle, right? Or
Yes.
no, a little closer to you. But it seems like they have their own new measures to keep crowds under control, which is gather in the lake. It was viral on our social media here in Alberta they were flooded of hundreds of hundreds of people was in the lake, and according to sources, there wasn't anybody monitoring, or there wasn't anybody policing the whole situation. And yes, there were some supposedly a couple of what do you call it? Those speedo mobiles that are running around the lake, and that's about it. But on land, there was nobody guarding or whatsoever, no officers or whatnot. Meantime, they know what's happening in that little lake. That's not a big lake.
Yeah, it's a very small lake, and because I believe people are just tired of staying at home and wanted to enjoy the warm weather we have, because it's summer here in Canada. People troop to Sylvan Lake. Unfortunately, Sylvan Lake can't handle the amount of people that troop that day.
But again, people, to anybody and to all the people that's watching us live right now and listening to us, and this is not just in the case of our province, this is going on right now all over the world, okay? we're there forgetting what we've gone through in the last few months, right? Yes, we understand that we need to stretch our legs, stretch our arm, get some sun, feel the beach, feel the sand, look at the mountains. So wherever you guys want to be, go to the malls, go to the restaurants, guys. Please, let's be courteous. Talagang tandaan lang po natin na we don't want a second wave of this virus. We want to be able to do our own normal, Sir Nicky, right? There's again common sense lang po. Common sense lang again. We're not the experts, right? But we're definitely using our platform here to give some awareness to everybody. Not just in our province, but wherever you are, maybe. Again, please keep this going. Let's flatten the curve, Sir Nicky.
Exactly. So talking about flatten the curve, and just a little segue there on flatten the curve, and we will touch base on that later in our show, and what's happening to the Philippines. And they say they have flattened the curve. And you've heard about flattening the curve in Manila, and it just it's funny and it's ironic that they say they have flattened the curve, because there's still a lot of things there, and a lot of I call asymptomatic people out there. I know there's a lot of testing, but because of the wide range of the population we have, 107 million, it's really hard to get everyone tested, right? So anyway,
it also comes down to the funding and all of that stuff. And again, we understand where we're at in that situation. But you know what, guys, we can help, right? We can help by simply making sure that you and your family is protected, and again, the other thing too is, syempre, you got to remember to wear your mask wherever you are. And we all know, again, that's a big thing happening, especially south of the border, where in the US, a lot of people are protesting about, not wearing the masks and all of this stuff. So, do you? Kung anong gusto nyo mangyari sa buhay nyo, diba?
Do what you believe is right, and do what you believe is good for your health, and always protect yourself.
Yun lang. Kailangan natin yan dahil syempre ano bang tawag dito, Sir Nicky, pag kahit na anong gawin natin at this point, we can do what we do on our own, on our side, pero pag meron pa ring anay, di ba? Ganun yan pag hindi mo naubos yung anay, talagang kung ano man yung gustong sirain ng anay, masisira niya. Totoo ba yun?
Exactly. So kailangan talaga we still have to remember that we're not out of this pandemic yet, so we have to be extremely careful still, and hope that there won't be a second wave.
Ayun, dahil ito, alam na naman natin to everybody that's watching us live right now, at saka sa mga nanonood ng mga news, in regards to COVID. Naku, lalong-lalo ng ating neighbor na US of A, talagang naghihirap dahil dito sa pandemic na ito. So, anyway, Sir Nicky, we're gonna go for a short, quick break, and we'll be right back to you with some more breaking news. Siyempre, dito lang po sa the Fourth Estate. And Nicky, go on. We'll be right back.
And we are
All right.
back here at the Fourth Estate with our news anchors, Nicky and Solrac, reporting live.
Hello once again, and we're back here at the Fourth Estate. Solrac here, and Sir Nicky.
Yes, Solrac, please, we're not looking like that I was burned out in the sun there. You know, it was so bright and...
I thought you were tanning inside your house.
Pardon me?
I thought you were tanning inside your house.
Oh, yes. I was tanning because of our weather. Right? It's really warm. Anyway.
Going back to our news. The feds to deliver more than 19 billion to provinces and territories in COVID-19 support. So the Ottawa Prime Minister Justin Trudeau announced yesterday that a 19 billion deal has been reached between the federal government and the provinces and the territories to help local economies rebound from the pandemic. Mr. Trudeau also said that the funds will help communities prepare for a potential second wave and will go towards boosting testing capabilities, stockpiling personal protective equipment, and advancing municipal transportation. The funds are also a revisal to a pre-announced Safe Restart Agreement that had an initial price tag of 14 billion. That's have been ongoing over the last several weeks between the federal and the government and the provinces and territories over the scale of support needed. We've been working with our provincial and territorial partners to outline what needs to be done over the next 6 to 8 months to safely restart our economy, said the Prime Minister during a press briefing in Ottawa yesterday. As part of this agreement, we've outlined 7 priority areas on which to focus our efforts. Sir Nicky, I'm really glad that, kumbaga in a way na he's prepared, he's preparing our country if, di ba? Kasi minsan, I know people doesn't like to hear the if words pero syempre, in a way na, kasi we all know that this is happening right now in our country, and not just in our country, but to have a backup, to have a plan B, to have a support, if it were to happen. Do you think this is a good idea?
Well, definitely is. The Prime Minister Justin Trudeau is doing everything he can out of his toolbox as to what he can really do to help people in this pandemic. In fact, Carlos, if you take note of CNN report very recently talking about how the contrast between Canada and the United States as far as the pandemic is concerned. You look at how the healthcare system of Canada, how it's performing right now, how many beds we have, and luckily we're doing great as far as keeping social distancing and maintaining that low number of cases so that the hospital facilities in Canada won't be overwhelmed. Whereas in the United States, the latest we got was that they're bringing in refrigerated containers for cadavers in certain areas of the United States. So that's a very unfortunate scene out in the United States. Obviously, people are tired of hearing that, we have to wear masks, we have to social distance, and we have to stay home. But if you look at the numbers, it's really alarming as far as number of cases in our neighbor, the United States.
That's definitely a fact there. Again, going back to Mr. Trudeau, the only reason why, syempre, parang tayo naman dito sa ating country here in Canada, syempre medyo 50-50 na tayo when it comes to keep spending the money, keep borrowing money, you know, kasi syempre we want it to be used in the right ways, and not use that fund towards something else rather. Diba? Like again, we all know, and this is a fact. We all know that, and it's not just Canada, it's not just Philippines. You know, all of us, all of the countries right now are in big debts, in deficits also, right? Due to this COVID-19, diba? So again, so hopefully, what he's preparing us for us, anyways, is an honest preparation for any type of second wave if there's anything. Because again, we've been hearing so many stories about some foundation, the We Foundation that he's created, and all of this stuff. But now we're also hearing that he's apologizing because it isn't what it is. So anyways, we won't go that far. I know we want to get more stories behind that before we can speak about it. Sir Nicky.
I think, Carlos, one thing that, you know, would be interesting to see, and we would like to see, is the companies like Lysol, or companies like the pharmaceutical industry stepping in to do its share as far as COVID-19 is concerned. I know, you know, they've been busy. I know the shelves of groceries always run out of Lysol wipes. And if Lysol is hearing us, I hope that they would step in and step into the plate and say, okay, we're making some donations to help fight this pandemic.
That's a good call. That's a good call. And I'm sure our listeners and our viewers can actually vouch to that. Because syempre, you know, it's not only for us, but a lot of workplaces. It's one thing. Like myself, for example, at our workplaces, it's everywhere, right? Like, I mean, same for you, I'm sure. When you go somewhere, when you go to anywhere, that's what you see right away.
Yes,
So
and you know, Carlos. Yes, Solrac. We're not trying to single out Lysol here or anyone. I'm talking about in general. We're talking about disinfectant people, companies, right? If you can step into the plate and help find a cure to this pandemic, that would be highly appreciated, definitely.
Yeah, and there's a lot of these manufacturing places for this medical masks, gloves, you know, and not only that, ang paper towel, let's not forget about that.
Yes, definitely.
Paper towel and tissue paper, those people have made so much money in the last 3 months.
Exactly.
So,
yes, because business is brisk, right? And I just haven't seen an article or haven't heard of anything as far as that industry is concerned, the pharmaceutical or the sanitation industry being able to contribute to this pandemic. And I could be wrong, but I would, and we here at the Fourth Estate would be glad to hear back from these companies, and if they're doing something, we would be glad to welcome them and tell us their story and share it to the public.
That's right. No, that's I like that. And yeah, true enough. Correct us if we're wrong, diba? Kasi syempre, we wanna share with you guys a legitimate stories here at the Fourth Estate. So you know what? And true enough, I haven't personally. You mentioned you haven't heard anything that, you know, that they've done an outreach or they've done something to help. Correct us if we're wrong. You tell us if you have already, right? So that's really good. I like that.
Well, we're in this together, right? So we must help each other and join hands and join forces to fight this pandemic.
That is correct. Even though a country like Canada or a country like Philippines or a country that has gone through a lot with this whole pandemic, with this whole COVID thing, let's keep in mind that it is just not your country. It is the world. The world is it is where it isn't, right? So it's not the normal. It's not the normal. And again, I had a good chat with my mentor just a couple of days ago, and you know what? She was very optimistic about everything, because she knows that when we all unite, just like what you said, we will stand together, and when we do, our world will be a better place. So, you know, we heal as one, ika nga, right? Like, so, like what you said. So I really like that what we're giving out to our viewers and our listeners. So hopefully you guys will do your part also, right? So let's keep this spread the love together.
So, Carlos, on that note, I heard the Philippines is loosening up restrictions on travel for foreigners, and this is happening in August, right?
From what I understood, yes. So the 1st of August, they will be loosening it up. So this is for anybody that's has a repeat visit from wherever they are to the Philippines, and also for ang daming ang daming instance dyan na sinasabi about kasi one other thing is the capacity, di ba? The capacity ng airplanes and whatnot. Siyempre, they tried to accommodate, and they tried to make a little bit of the loss, di ba nga? So they're opening up. They want their economy back also. So like what we said to you, like what we said to our listeners before, right? That's one of the big part of how our economy is ever so growing, is because of the aviation world, right? So
yes, and what's important to take note of is this move by the Philippine government is a big move. I believe it's a move towards the positive. People are tired to be staying at home. We have to really find alternatives to slowly open up the economy and keep going. A lot of people will starve if we don't do that. We can't. We know that the government is also doing its best to distribute a social amelioration funding that they are distributing to the people. But having said that, until when will that last? Solrac, right?
that's right.
And because there's not enough funding, people still continue to pay their bills. So you have your rent, you have your electricity, you have your water and food. And when that money runs out, what happens next? That is right. The big concern of not opening the economy. So I know a lot of people, a lot of our kababayans are concerned, right? Sabi, okay, ba't bubuksan yung ekonomiya? Ang daming, ang daming may COVID, ang daming may sakit. And if you look at the numbers really, Solrac, comparing that Philippine number of deaths to the deaths that we have here in Canada, maliit lang, about it's less than 1,900, it's only about 1,700 for the Philippines in comparison to over 8,000 in Canada. And if you look at the number of population in the Philippines, it's 107 million against a population of Canada, which is a lot lesser, right? So we don't even break 50 million population, right?
Exactly. So yeah, in regards to the opening of the allowing the foreigners to enter the country in the Philippines, they're the ones who has the long-term visa holders and foreigners living and working in the country also. Okay, which again, it really makes sense. I know some countries in ASEAN are not allowing foreigners. I know for a fact Thailand and Vietnam are not allowing their any foreigners to come to their country. So I hope this would be a good head start for us. Come August 1st in the Philippines, anyhow. And by the way, this is the only thing that I didn't get to read on this part. But I know we've talked about this from city to city or province to province. When you fly inside Philippines, that you have to self-quarantine for 14 days. And the fact that they also have to travel so they will land in Cebu. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes, it is. Sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna ask. I wonder if that's gonna be the same situation. So come August 1st, if a foreigner comes in, do they also have to go through the same stuff?
I believe it is, Solrac. The current situation in the Philippines, as per the information I got, reliable information we got, is that for anyone coming into the country, you will be coming in and landing in Cebu. Cebu City, which is the Queen City of the South. Why is this? It's because Manila, which is the capital city, is already overwhelmed with a lot of testing, and the facilities in Cebu is ready to handle more people, and they are ready at the airport. If you can see, there's a lot of cubicles there to test passengers coming in, and once you do your tests, you have to quarantine, and after your quarantine, then they'll move you to your destination for free. And that's my understanding. And if you're heading to Manila, then they'll bring you to Manila. But once you are in Manila, you still have to quarantine. That's where it puzzles me, Carlos, as far as that measure is concerned. That is one thing that I want to clarify with the Philippine government as to why, if they are already quarantined in the Queen City of the South, which is Cebu, and you still need to quarantine in Manila when you have done your testing already in Cebu.
When you reach your final destination, it doesn't. I guess when we were talking about it, even myself, I don't understand the process about that whatsoever.
Yes, it's good to know all this process, because alam niyo naman, marami sa ating mga kababayan, a lot of our element, they wanted to travel and they want to go on holidays pretty soon, and they're looking forward to go on holidays once restrictions ease up. The problem is if they're gonna be quarantined for 14 days in Cebu, or a total of 14 days in Cebu and Manila, that's gonna eat up their holidays, Solrac, right? And for better understanding of our viewers, here in Canada, we're normally only allowed a couple of weeks holidays on and depends on your tenure. So that 14 days will be easily gone, Solrac.
And again, and that's why, again, I was mentioning earlier that I don't understand our process, because you're in your same country. I understand maybe there's a little bit more severity in terms of one province to the other, But mind you, here's another thing, and we got this straight from our guest from last week with from Mr. Ramon Fernandez. That Cebu is actually the capital of COVID right now.
Yes, it is.
And that's where people are landing in. And it, again, putting the puzzle together, it doesn't work. It doesn't work.
That's a very good point and very valid point that you're raising, Solrac. I'm not understanding either why they're bringing people to Cebu when Cebu is a hotbed for COVID infections right now.
Yeah.
And also for the benefit of our listeners and our viewers, Solrac, when you go back to the Philippines and you know that a public healthcare system doesn't exist. And I know Senator Bongo is trying to create, reform the healthcare, public healthcare in the Philippines, but that's not all set yet. So as far as your COVID testing is concerned and your quarantine procedures are concerned, bear in mind that when you reach there, you have to pay for your swab test. And also, you have to pay for the cab that will bring you to your quarantine location. And you're still responsible to pay for that cab and the quarantine location. And as per my understanding, Carlos, the cab is 3,000. And that doesn't include your accommodation, okay?
There you go. So again, putting the puzzle together, it doesn't add up right. It doesn't really add up right. Maybe this is the time where we're gonna talk to our director and say, you know what? I think for the following week here, or even for the next week, I think we should call on our the one and only Mr. Go to get some
further insights on this,
right? To get the facts of this situation. We understand the whole process of things, comparing one country to the other, which is apple to orange, really, having to have the right sets of hands, ika nga, when it comes to these situations. We understand that, again, Philippines is undermanned or under power, let's just put it that way, because of some uncertainties, right? So
pero Sorlac, what's bothering you, like what you said, right? Mas marami pong population sa Metro Manila, right? And then I think facilities wise, Cebu is not far behind. I know that Cebu has progressed really great, but what I don't understand is, okay, kung overwhelmed na ang Manila as far as testing is concerned, right? Mas maraming tao sa Maynila. Bakit? Paano sila na-overwhelm at yung Cebu hindi na-overwhelm? Yun ang hindi ko maintindihan eh.
True.
Yeah, and maybe Direct Sherry can possibly bring in General Anyo, anyone from the interagency task force to shed light on what's happening as far as the testing is concerned and why they're diverting all these flights to Cebu.
Yeah, there you have it. Nako, our director will have some work to do in the next few days here.
Yeah, our hardworking director.
All right, Sir Nicky, I think para hindi naman tayo ma-COVID out. Kasi
Exactly.
Marami tayong mga listeners na nakikinig at sumusubaybay and wanting to know. Siyempre, ang mga sports news natin, they wanna be in the know. Diba? So anyway,
kumusta na yung startup ng basketball? I heard, maraming magandang balita dun sa Disney World.
Oo,
for the NBA.
busy sila sa Disney World. Mukhang I was gonna use the term. Anyways, ito lagi silang syempre as we all know how social media evolves everything, diba? So ito, they're sharing their pictures, they're showing what they're doing. They started to do their trainings. They're in the training sessions now. Some big names has tested positive in the last couple of days, like Russell Westbrook. He got tested positive, and also I heard that some guys are not liking the accommodations that they're getting for such what do you call this? Kumbaga grand na yan. When you come to Disney, it's grand. But here they are. They're looking at their rooms. They're not very happy about it. Meron pa nga iba pinipicture, may mga ipis daw yung mga
Wow.
Yung mga rooms nila. So it doesn't sound good. Also the meals, the food that they're receiving, they have to source that on their own now, because in the first couple of days they were getting what they were expecting to receive for their meals anyways. So
wow,
but
that's something to look forward to, right? I know they were given and then they were given I call after hours passes to go around the park and do some rides. But to my surprise, that I fell below the expectation of the players as far as their accommodation is concerned.
True. And syempre, makikita mo sila nag-fishing. They're really trying to make their time worth it. Kasi syempre, they're now traveling without their families also. They're in they're in a camp. So all they have there is their trainers, their coaches. Even some teams don't have their full coaching staff. So somehow, some way, they have to make do for what they have. And what I also saw on their gym time, that they're also sharing what looks like a training facility. So there's like five different courts for 5 different teams. So it is kind of very, very interesting to see what's been transpiring into this in the para sabi nila, it's a new game. Kasi nga syempre it's not the way of their training. Parang they're not used to this kind of training. They're not used to this kind of situation. So they're almost like, when I remember this correctly, especially sa NBA, this is like the time when they go to Olympics, for example. Parang ganyan ang nangyayari. Kasi they're in one dome, they're sharing the courts, they're sharing the workout fields and all of this stuff. So
yeah, it's a totally different ball game right now, and how this would affect the actual games, how this would mentally affect the players, right? Mentally, it's gonna be very, very different. And I understand there were plans even to do some audio. And not particularly just basketball. They're talking about general sports and talking about bringing audio to enhance and to I call support the morale of the players. The players are so used to big crowds, Solrac, and because of that, the intensity is there. Now, without taking out the crowd, be a totally different ball game.
Yes, it's almost like it's almost like a game in the park. Diba? Talagang yan eh. To me, I haven't gone into a game where there's thousands of people are watching, but I've been into those situations where there's a lot of people are watching. it brings the mojo out of you, right? Talagang ano yan eh.
Exactly.
Talagang tumalakas lalo ang fighting spirit mo eh.
Exactly.
Siyempre, katulad mo, Sir Nicky, siyempre pag shoot ka, parang gustong-gusto marinig na, go Nicky, go, di ba? Nakakaano yun eh, nakakalakas ng loob, tsaka parang talagang gaganahan ka maglaro, di ba? Pero, it's definitely gonna be a different ball game. I want to see these professionals, how they would do it, how would they come through. It's very, very interesting time. It's very, very interesting game. Yeah.
As far as the NHL is concerned, what's up for the NHL, Solrac?
August 1st, save the date for all of the hockey enthusiast, hockey fan. August 1st. Nako, Sir Nicky, I'm sure your city will be in a big hype once all of these teams starts coming down to your city.
Yes, everyone's just tired of being in lockdown. Everyone's tired at home. And siguro nagsawa na rin siya kakapanood ng Netflix. After a while, you just get tired of watching movies. You just get tired of watching TV shows. You want some sports, and this is what it's all about, Carlos. Our life, siguro sa buhay natin ang hirap na walang sports. This is why with the Fourth Estate, meron tayong tinatalakay na sports. Napakahalaga ng sports eh.
Sobra. At saka syempre, mind you, ang sports naman eh, hindi lang na sinasabi na physical sports or basketball or hockey, football or baseball, whatever this is maybe. A lot of people nowadays are syempre, in na sila ngayon sa physical activities, especially for fitness and things like that, di ba? Kasi part na rin ng sport yan. A lot of guys are very into that. And I know here in Calgary, there has been a few fitness places that has to close down again or close their doors again due to the the social distancing and some outbreaks and things like that. But anyhow, we won't go back to that. What I'm trying to say is talagang kailangan natin yan. Pati ng buhay natin yan. Ikaw ba, Sir Nicky, ano bang favorite na fitness ang ano mo? Go-to fitness mo? Huh?
Lately, to be honest with you, I used to shoot ball, but lately I'm guilty of being lazy and just do shadow boxing.
Oh, shadow boxing, huh?
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Well, it's just, to keep ourselves fit, right? So.
Exactly. Ano yan eh, again, it's part of being, ano yan eh, parang it gives you really a flow, a good sense of feeling for yourself, di ba? Parang ano yan eh, nakapaglakas ng loob din yan, ika nga. So, ayan, naku.
Alam mo, Solrac, bago ko makalimutan, just recently, there was a scoop actually that came out the Alberta Filipino Journal, and it's about a Filipina here in Canada. Someone was harassing her at the apartment. Okay. And because this person was harassing her and was saying a lot of explicit words, right? Unnecessary comments about our race, the Filipino, right? And the lady just said, the brother was his boyfriend, just to try to ward off this guy. But this guy was talking about Filipinos being, Filipinas being a bitch and being a carrier of COVID or whatnot. And I don't like to go back to the COVID thing, but I'm just talking about this is a different thing. This is a serious matter that we need to address. This is a harassment case. not only violence against women, but this is racism, extreme racism.
There was a lot. There was a lot on there. I did see that. I did read up on it. And yes, that's a very, very unfortunate. I feel bad for the for our country people here. That has to see that has to feel very uncomfortable. Kasi Sir Nicky, that doesn't go away. That doesn't go away. That's something that especially when you're in that age or when you're in that situation, it really stucks in your head, right? So, and not only that, it's not only for her, but also for the people that seen it, that heard it, and that felt her pain when she was going through that. Unfortunately, there's really a lot of people that's very, very I don't want to use the word, but it's unfortunate that they don't teach themselves, or they don't have the right upbringing, or whatever the case may be. And to be honest with you, seeing the person, seeing the guy, hearing him talk, he doesn't even sound like he is Caucasian. He doesn't even sound like he is, or he was born here in Canada. This is not his native country. I'll just say that. Okay, and for him to disrespect, and this is not just because she is Filipina. This is because she is a woman. So, very again, to me,
it's bothersome.
It is. It's definitely. And again, there's a lot of young girls out there I know that seen that show, that seen that news or heard that news, and again, that's very unfortunate. You really put about a situation where you scare somebody, you make them feel not wanted. Kasi
it's fear. It's feeling the fear. Yeah.
Yes. And so hopefully that's because I knew it, even for the police officers, it took them a day. Is that right? It took them a day, the next day, to come down and actually arrest the guy. Even that didn't make sense to me.
And this is why Solrac, if I may, right, as president of the Philippine Media Association of Alberta, I am calling on the provincial government, the chief of police, to act on this matter. This is a serious matter. I hope they take this seriously. We condemn this action, this violence against women, the racism attack against the Filipinos. This is unnecessary. This is not about the Filipinos itself. This is about any race. Racism has no place in this world, number one, and number two, that especially when they're harassing women, that's a big no-no. Yes.
Thank you for bringing that up. I didn't want to bring it up because again, it's a subject that is very, very. It's
controversial.
It is very. Kasi, di ba, it's not just the guy. It's not just the being our fellow countryman, di ba? Parang ganun yan eh. We don't want to do that. But yes, it has to be addressed. And then now, syempre, the government is also a big part of it too, right? When it happened, from my understanding, the neighbors, the brother or herself, was calling for help. Diba? So, paano, Sir Nicky? Alam mo naman ng mga Filipino. Alam mo naman tayo. Pag merong naaapi, it doesn't even matter. It doesn't matter kung kakilala mo yun o hindi.
It doesn't really matter.
We act as we see and as we feel it. Paano pag may nangyari, di ba?
Exactly.
Paano nangyari? So we ask that to our government to hear what we're saying here at the fourth estate. Racism has no place in our world. We all know that. Our world is suffering through that also. So thank you for that. And also, Sir Nicky, talking about race and talking about another way of controversial kind of racism or name calling or whatnot. Going back to my sports, after the NFL Team Washington Redskins, I'm sure you've heard of this story. They've retired their name, right? I guess it's not only it is only right also that the others would follow. Kasi Washington, right? The football team, their team is called Redskins, right? And as we all know, syempre, for Native Americans or for some, that's a very controversial name. Okay, and that hit home also here dito sa ating province. And now, from what I understand, is Edmonton. I'm not sure if you've heard of this. Edmonton also has moved forward and will be changing their names also from Edmonton Eskimos. But the name will follow in the next little while here, I'm sure. So,
well, it's high time, Solrac, that people take into consideration all these factors when they're doing their branding, doing their naming of their team. It is essential to understand that we have to coexist in this world as brothers and sisters.
That's right. Sir Nicky, before we go, I know we're doing a little overtime here, but being in the Ford family, I just want to announce, and I'm sure a lot of our viewers and our listeners also have seen the return of the legend. The Ford Bronco is back.
Yes.
Very universal yan, Sir Nicky. Alam niyo yan. Ford Bronco is a very, very popular vehicle way back when in the 90s. And it is back. Nako. Watch out.
That's something that's really exciting, Carlos. I know a lot of truckers would be really, really excited.
Kasi alam mo naman yung 1990, 1992, where were you then?
1992, I was in the PBA then.
Anyways, yes, so to our listeners and also to our viewers that's watching us live right now, we appreciate you very much. Hopefully you guys have picked up a few cents here and there with our topic, our conversation here at the Fourth Estate. We only want to bring you the facts. We want to talk about things that you guys can appreciate and that we can all learn from. Sir Nicky, any last words for our viewers tonight?
Yeah, to all our viewers again, maraming salamat sa inyong walang sawang pagsubaybay sa amin ni Solrac. At naway kayo ay maging safe at maging masaya despite of this pandemic. Mabuhay kayo.
Once again, I want to thank you again for your time, Sir Nicky. To our director, thank you once again. And syempre to everybody that's watching us live right now and listening to us worldwide. We appreciate you for stopping in and watching us here at the Fourth Estate.
Direct, thank you.
Ayan. Till next Friday from 8:30 to 9:30 dito lang po here at the Fourth Estate. Solrac and Sir Nicky.
And Nicky Gokwan, mabuhay kayong lahat.
See you then.